So Alfa back, giving that a quick clean off. I forget exactly what's been done because I haven't picked up the bill yet, but it looks like we've got new discs on the back there. So Pete and I are double teaming the Alfa. I'm wet sanding the headlights, and then I'm going to do the bodywork of buff, and Pete is doing the interior so we can get it up for sale. Then we're both going to hit the Captiva together. But between the two, we should be able to get that done and potentially get the Mariva sorted as well. There we go, lovely set of peepers. Makes a world of difference, doesn't it? So Alfa's all done. We're going to do a photo shoot on it now. You can see it looks absolutely fantastic. Pete's done a lovely job of giving the interior valet while I sorted out the exterior. It's looking really nice inside. There was a panic for about 10 minutes where we couldn't find the keys to it. I'd lost the keys. Lucky Pete was here. It turned out I chucked them in a dustbin when I've been throwing away some cardboard. He's now onto the Antara to give that a clean up. So like I say, I'll get the photo shoot done on this, and then we'll move on to the next thing. So with the Alfa looking all lovely, we moved on to the Antara. Pete's just giving the engine bay a clean, giving the outside a clean off because the inside is mint. I'm just going to do one of my wheels. The rest of the wheels are good, it's just this one's got some lacquer peel on it. So I'm using my stripping disc to take it off and then re-lacquer the wheel. Probably Pete's going to move on to the little Mariva, isn't it? Excuse Pete there.
Sorry, guys.
I bought him a pasty, and that's what you get back for thanks. So Antara plastic's all been done with the outro. I'll put a link to that oil down below if you haven't seen it before. It's turned all those grey plastics beautifully black. So I'm going to just about get a photo, and it's a bit dusky, but I'll be able to edit the pictures on my phone and make them a bit lighter. Well, that's the Antara, also photographed and videoed. What a fantastic looking thing this is. It's really a credit to its previous owner. This is in such good condition. Took Brooke to school with it actually, she really liked it. And the Alfa is looking fantastic. So 2 cars from Joe there that have come out looking really, really nice. Hopefully they don't cause me too much of a headache after sale. So both sub 4 grand I think they are. Am I right in saying that? Is that 3995? I think that's 3995. So both sub 4 grand. That looks like really good value, that money. I'll double check my figures on that, because yeah, that looks like crazy value for that kind of a car that well equipped in that kind of condition. But yeah, that should be I would have thought a fairly easy sell for me. I've left the tow bar on the back of it because I figure anybody who gets one of these is probably likely to want some kind of towing. I imagine it might go to some local towing a horse box, something like that. We're not going to quite get the Antara finished off. Antara, what the hell is that? Mariva? It's now 4 o'clock and you can see the light is really going already. This is the trouble during the winter, you get a lot less done. And bless Pete, he's been out in the cold pretty much most of the day. We'll both have, to be fair. So I'm just going to make him a brew. And we might have a bit of cake as well. Brew time, mate, Pete? Brew time?
Yeah, man.
Petey's even bought cake. Fair play to him, man. That's why I have him around, really. Oh, big thanks to Lee and Blue the dog for sending me our first Christmas card this year. Much appreciated, mate. Thanks for watching. So I let Petey get off. That was a good day's work done by both of us. We've got a lot done there. That was a bit of a result. I've still got a good number of hours now of editing, uploading all the pictures and all the video I've done off the cars today. That's, you know, a good few more hours work done, but I can go home and do that in the warm, I think. Just one thing, while I was on the phone, while I was doing the cars with Pete today, I had a phone call asking to underwrite a car at a main dealership. And it was a Land Rover Discovery Sport, but it had the 2-litre Ingenium engine. And they said to me straight away, we know you're not going to be keen. And there's good reason for that. If you don't know, the 2-litre Ingenium engine has a raft of problems, timing chain being one of them, but it actually has 2 timing chains and they're behind the gearbox. And then I think they have issues with the burning oil or blowback or something like that. Someone will say down in the comments, but they've got a raft of issues. Same old, small engine, doing an awful lot of work in a big car. Doesn't seem to last. So they said, we know you won't be keen. This one's an 88,000 miles on a 2016. And they said, we've capped it already for you and it's coming back at 6,500. Now, bear in mind, the retail valuation on it was 12,000. So that's a big gap. If you know Joe over at Shifting Metal, he tends to work on about 5 grand on this Land Rover stuff. So that's not unusual. And they said, that's where we, could you guarantee an underwrite at that kind of price point? So, well, if it has a full service history, if you start it up and there's no timing chain rattle, and I was also advised to make sure the balance shafts weren't, one of my mates said, check that the balance shafts aren't making a noise, a bit like a drive shaft noise as you pull away. So I said, if you can check those things off for me, they're all good. On the basis of that, I'll underwrite it for you at that, because I thought with that kind of margin in it, it's got to 88,000 miles. It's probably either had a timing chain already, or it has already had an engine, or it's just one of the few that's going to slip through the net and it's going to be okay. So I said, okay. I then had a phone call a little bit later on to say, actually, the customer's come back from the test drive now. They've told us they've had a new engine put in it. And could you increase your price offer? I thought, well, it's got 2 years warranty on it still, and it was put in by a main dealer. I thought, well, at the end of the day, if I decide to out this to somebody else, I've got to be a bit careful. I can't offer an awful lot more because I might still struggle. People might still not want it even with a new engine in it. So I just upped my offer by 500 quid, which I thought was fairly generous. But it turned out, I went to check if I got the deal later on, because normally I have to ring back and find if I got it or not. It turned out that the customer quite rightly had turned down the offer because they had dropped £10,000 in a new engine a little while ago. Now, I'd assumed that the engine had been done by Land Rover under some kind of warranty, because I've had a few of those before where they've had an engine put in by Land Rover, either in goodwill for a very low price or for free. Well, it turned out this customer actually spent 10 grand having an engine put in, and they'd paid for the whole lot. So quite rightly, they were not keen to go ahead with the deal. And I just thought, this is a bit scary. I really felt for that customer. I mean, this is scary, isn't it? Even if you are in a situation where you haven't put an engine in, your car's still being valued with a really, really low trade price, isn't it? A really low trade price versus the retail, because of the reputation of these engines and because nobody wants them. But if you are someone who's had even if you've had the timing chain done, which I believe is quite expensive job, as I said, means taking the gearbox out, you know, that's a big investment in the car that you're not going to get back when you come to part exchange it. And if you've put an engine in, like these people here, you're going to be really on your back foot, aren't you? Big time when you try and change the car out. I mean, their only option now really is keep the car and run it till it dies, isn't it? But yeah, I mean, this Jaguar Land Rover stuff is getting absolutely hammered in the industry. It's really bad news. I do really feel for the owners. Oh, by the way, I was an idiot in the last video and I didn't put a link through to the Top Don offer on the Top Don jump pack, so I'm going to put that in the description of this video down below. If you didn't see the last video, I was showing you how great the Top Don jump packs are, and they're going to have 20% off for a limited time. So if you did want one, get down there quick into the link in the description and grab yourself one while they're on offer.